Stay with me for this. Because the way this story turns is something most people never see coming. And the moment the truth comes out, it hits like a cold wind. You feel it. You realize you are only shown half the story. And trust me, you will want to watch till the very end, because every minute gets more shocking. The morning started like any other news day in America. People scrolling. People reacting. People arguing. But then, one screenshot changed everything. One screenshot started the kind of storm that spreads fast, loud, and messy. Dave Rubin, the conservative commentator known for his strong takes and sharp tone, posted a screenshot he believed would blow up the internet. He wrote a caption that he clearly expected to go viral. And he was right. It went viral in minutes. The screenshot showed numbers. Hotel names. Limo services. Expensive places. It looked dramatic. It looked bad. It looked like a huge scandal waiting to explode. And the way Dave Rubin framed it made it seem even bigger. He wrote something like, Jasmine Crockett lectures Americans about inequality but lives like a Kardashian on campaign donations. He added details. He named the Ritz-Carlton, West Hollywood, Vegas. He listed amounts that were thousands of dollars. And he said it all like he had just uncovered the truth of the century. People reacted instantly. Within 15 minutes, the post had spread across social media. Within 30 minutes, it had thousands of retweets. Within an hour, conservative shows and commentators were jumping on the topic like it was a fire they needed to feed. Emily Wilson. Link Lauren. Podcasts. YouTube shows. Pages with millions of followers. All repeating the same thing. All using the same screenshot. All using the same tone. They were loud. They were angry. They were dramatic. And they were all saying one message. Jasmine Crockett is living a luxury life on campaign funds. Some called it hypocrisy. Some called it proof she did not care about regular Americans. Some mocked her. Some went after her appearance. Some went after her voice, her style, her hair, her makeup. The internet loves drama. And this story had all the ingredients to blow up. But here is what most people did not know at that moment. They only had one side of the story. And the other side? The side no one had seen yet? It was bigger. Stronger. And honestly, shocking. While the attacks spread online like wildfire, something unusual was happening behind the scenes. Jasmine Crockett was not panicking. She was not hiding. She was not calling consultants or scrambling for excuses. She was calm. Because she knew something most of the critics did not know. She had receipts. Real receipts. Real information. Real context. And she understood something even deeper. The internet moves fast. People react first. People think later. But when you finally show the full truth, everything stops. Everything turns. Everything flips. The attacks kept rolling in. People joked about hotels and limos. People cut clips together. Memes started showing up. Some showed luxury handbags. Some showed fancy dinners. Others tried to paint her as some celebrity living a rich life. A few online commentators even questioned if she spent any time with her constituents. They said she traveled too much. They said she was living her best life. They said the screenshots were proof she was fake. But the truth was nowhere in those comments. All day long, conservative pages posted angry videos. Some shouted. Some laughed. Some spoke in whisper serious tones as though they were uncovering a major crime. And the more they talked, the more people believed it. But Jasmine Crockett. She was waiting. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for the noise to peak. Waiting for the drama to reach its highest point. Because when she finally responded, she wanted people to be listening. Evening came. The internet was still buzzing, The screenshot was everywhere. The hashtags were trending. The memes were multiplying. The commentators were celebrating what they believed was a career-ending blow. And then she posted the video. It was calm. It was simple. It was direct. She sat in what looked like her congressional office. No drama. No fancy set. No flashing graphics. No angry tone. Just her. A quiet room. Clear words. And the first line she spoke made millions of people stop scrolling. So, I woke up this morning to find out that I'm apparently living like a Kardashian. Her voice was steady. Her face was calm. But her tone said she was done letting people play with half the truth. She went on. She said the people attacking her were clutching their pearls. She said they were acting shocked about something they clearly did not understand. She pointed out the obvious. Campaign finance laws are not the same as personal money. Elected officials cannot use taxpayer money for campaign travel. They must use campaign funds for lodging and transportation. Then she broke down the numbers, one by one. The $4,000 Ritz-Carlton stay. That was for a 3-day congressional delegation for national security briefings. The $5,000 West Hollywood stay. That was part of a fundraising trip that helped raise over $200,000 for other Democrats running tough races. A return on investment of 40 to 1. The Vegas expenses. Conference events. Constituent meetings. Workshops. Networking. Not parties. Not vacations. Not any of the wild stories being spread online. And the limo services? They were recommended by Capitol Police because of serious threats she had received. It was about safety, not luxury. But here is the part that changed everything. She did not just defend herself. She flipped the entire conversation upside down. She began listing Republican spending examples. Actual cases. Real records. And she explained how those cases went largely ignored. Suddenly the room changed, the tone changed. The narrative changed. Because now it wasn't just about her. It was about a double standard. Her video spread faster than the original screenshot. People commented things like, "I didn't know that. Why didn't anyone say this part? This changes everything." She stayed calm. And she came with facts. Within 1 hour. Her video reached hundreds of thousands. And the conversation flipped harder than anyone expected. For the first time that day, her critics went quiet. Some deleted tweets. Some softened their tone. Some tried to shift the topic. Some pretended they had never commented at all. Because the truth had landed. And it landed hard. But the real twist. The twist nobody saw coming? It was still ahead. Because while the video stopped the attacks, it triggered something even bigger. Something the commentators never expected. Something that would flip their entire scandal on its head. And when this next part hit, the internet went from loud to shocked. Because the moment the next piece of truth comes out, the whole drama takes a turn no one sees coming. And that turn came faster than anyone expected. Only a few hours after Jasmine Crockett posted her video, people began sharing it in replies to the original viral posts. Everywhere you looked, someone was dropping her calm, fact-filled video right under the angry accusations. And that simple act, showing the full picture, started cracking the viral outrage that had built up all day. People said things like, "Wait, she explained all this. This isn't what they said earlier. This actually makes sense. Why didn't the first post include any of this?" But the reactions online were only the beginning. Because something bigger happened behind the scenes. Legal analysts. Former election officials. Political reporters. Policy experts. One by one, they began reviewing her video. They checked the laws. They checked the dates, They checked the travel requirements. They checked the fundraising events. They checked the security recommendations from Capitol Police. And the findings were the same across the board. Everything Crockett described was standard, legal, common, normal. But here is what made this moment powerful. People began saying it out loud. A former FEC commissioner went on national television and said, "What Representative Crockett described is exactly how campaign finance law works." A political journalist posted a thread explaining why campaign travel is handled the way it is. A nonprofit that focuses on government ethics posted a detailed explanation confirming her expenses were completely lawful. And the best part? They explained it in simple terms the way Crockett had done, and suddenly millions of people understood the truth. The truth was clear. The outrage was built on a misunderstanding. And the misunderstanding was created on purpose. All day long, her critics had acted like her travel was unusual. But in reality, it was normal for members of Congress. The screenshot had no context. It looked dramatic because nobody explained the rules. But Crockett had explained them. And people understood them. And this changed everything. The conservative commentators who had posted angry videos began to panic a little. You could hear it in their tone. You could see it in their follow-up posts. Some tried to correct themselves without admitting it. Some backtracked. Some said they just wanted transparency. Others quietly deleted the most dramatic tweets. And Dave Rubin, the man who started it all, suddenly shifted from confidence to discomfort. He posted a follow-up message saying, "I'm just asking questions." But people were replying with Crockett's video under every post he made. Every single one. Her supporters were organized. Her viewers were passionate. And even people who didn't usually agree with her were saying, "She explained it clearly, why didn't you?" But the real twist came when reporters started digging deeper. They pulled campaign records from multiple officials, Democrats and Republicans, and compared the spending. And the results shocked people. Some members of Congress had spent far more than Crockett. Some had used campaign funds for private flights. Some had stayed in even more expensive hotels. Some had spent money without providing any explanation at all. But none of those had been turned into scandals. None had gone viral. None had been framed like a crime. And people began asking why. Why was the outrage so selective? Why did the loudest voices only highlight one person? Why was a black congresswoman being treated differently? Why were her normal expenses being painted as luxury when others got a free pass? These questions spread fast. They hit the internet like a spark hitting dry grass. Meanwhile, Crockett stayed calm. She didn't rush to the camera again. She didn't argue with anyone. She didn't send angry tweets. She let the truth do the work. And the truth worked harder than any insult thrown her way. By the next morning, her video had millions of views. Her name was trending everywhere. But this time it wasn't for scandal. It was for strength. People praised her calm voice. People praised the way she explained everything. People praised her confidence. People praised her ability to fight back without shouting. Even commentators who normally didn't support her politically admitted she handled the situation better than most public figures would have. But the part that nobody expected. Her fundraising skyrocketed. Supporters donated small amounts. People sent messages saying they admired her. New donors said they had never heard of her before but now wanted to support her because she handled the situation with dignity. Within days, she raised more than $500,000, all because she responded with facts instead of fear. Her critics tried to spin it. They said she was playing the victim. They said she was using identity politics. They said she was deflecting. But their tone was different now. It wasn't confident anymore. It was shaky. Because the truth had not only cleared her name. It had made their attack look reckless. News shows began discussing the double standards in politics. Analysts talked about how often women and people of color face unfair judgment. Researchers pulled data showing unequal media coverage. And slowly, quietly, the original scandal that was supposed to destroy her started melting away. But Crockett, she still had more to say. A few days later, she appeared on a major news channel. She sat across from the host, calm and ready. And the host asked her directly, "How do you stay centered when people attack you personally?" Her answer was simple and powerful. "I stay centered because I know my work. I know the facts. I know the law. And I refuse to let people shame me for doing my job while black and female." That moment struck people deeply. It wasn't loud. It wasn't emotional. It was factual and firm. The interviewer asked about the comments on her hair and makeup. Jasmine Crockett didn't smile. She didn't frown. She spoke clearly. "When male politicians spend money on sharp suits, nobody says anything. But if I wear professional makeup, suddenly I'm an influencer. That's not commentary. That is bias." Millions of Americans nodded at their screens. Because they saw the double standard every day. And then she said something that hit even harder. "My constituents ask about health care, education, jobs, safety, justice. Not hotel rooms." And with that statement, the conversation shifted again. People remembered what mattered. Not travel receipts. Not screenshots. Not clips cut together to cause drama. Real issues. Real work. Real public service. But while her supporters were cheering her strength, something else was happening that nobody expected. A conservative political strategist, someone who had worked on real campaigns, spoke on a podcast. And he said something shocking. The attack on Crockett was always going to backfire. Because any campaign worker knows her expenses were normal. Normal. That one word changed everything. Because when someone on the opposite side admits the truth, it hits harder than any defense. Crockett's critics lost their main argument. They could not call her spending unusual anymore. They could not say she broke rules. They could not say she hid anything. Their entire story fell apart. And when a story falls apart, people look for the next twist. And that twist? It came from Crockett herself. At a town hall in Dallas, one young woman asked Crockett how she keeps going when people attack her. Crockett smiled and said, "I keep going because I know who I am. I know why I'm here. And I won't let anyone push me out of spaces I earned." The room erupted in applause. But the biggest twist of all, the twist no one saw coming, was something Crockett revealed only after the applause faded. And that twist? It changes the entire meaning of the story. Because what Crockett reveals next will leave the whole room silent. The room grew quiet as Jasmine Crockett held the microphone. The young woman who had asked the question sat down, still watching her with wide eyes. Everyone leaned in. Everyone waited. And Crockett gently exhaled before speaking. "This whole situation," she said softly, "taught me something important. It showed me that some people are more afraid of my presence than my actions." There was a pause in the room. A deep, heavy pause. She continued, "It wasn't about hotels. It wasn't about travel. It wasn't about money. It was about the idea of someone like me, a black woman in Congress, being visible, being confident, and not apologizing for existing in a place they didn't expect me to be." People nodded slowly. Some people whispered to each other. Others simply stared at her, taking it all in. She went on. "They didn't attack my votes. They didn't attack my bills. They didn't attack my policies. They attacked my eyelashes. They attacked my hair. They attacked where I slept for work. They attacked the things that have nothing to do with serving the American people. There was a tightness in her voice now. Not anger. Not sadness. Just truth. Plain truth. She said, I keep every receipt. I keep every detail. I keep every record. Not because I expect to be perfect, but because I know someone, somewhere, is waiting for a chance to twist something. And I refuse to let them rewrite my story. This line made the whole room erupt in applause. Long applause. Loud applause. But she lifted her hand gently and the room fell silent again. Then she revealed the part no one expected. While they were attacking me, she said, I was working. People leaned in again. Do you know what I was doing the same week they posted that screenshot? She asked. No. Someone replied quietly. Crockett nodded. I was negotiating federal funding for small community clinics in Texas. Clinics that serve people who cannot afford health insurance. Clinics that keep doors open for families who need real help. There was a quiet gasp in the room. She continued, and the night they made me trend for hotel rooms, I was up until 2 a.m. finalizing support for a domestic violence protection bill. You could feel the shift in the crowd. You could feel hearts turning. You could feel the weight of everything she had carried. Then she revealed something even deeper. I got messages from women all over the country, she said. Women who said, thank you for not backing down. Thank you for not shrinking. Thank you for showing us that we belong in rooms that were not built for us. Some people in the audience teared up. Others wiped their eyes quietly. You could see the emotion spread through the crowd like a wave. She said, this wasn't a scandal. This was a reminder. A reminder that some people will attack your character because they cannot defeat your work. Another soft gasp. More nodding. More silence. Crockett looked around the room. And then she said the line that sealed her legacy. I will not shrink. I will stand tall. And if they come with lies, I will come with truth. If they come with noise, I will come with receipts. If they come with hate, I will come with work. And I will keep showing up, loud or quiet, tired or ready, because the people who sent me to Congress deserve nothing less. The room exploded again, not with anger, not with frustration, but with pride. Pride in her. Pride in the truth. Pride in the strength she carried. And this is where the story flips one last time. Because the very attack meant to destroy her became the thing that made her stronger. More people knew her now. More people respected her now. More people supported her now. And her message traveled far beyond the walls of that town hall. It traveled across social media. It traveled through news shows. It traveled through everyday conversations in homes across America. It became a story people told each other about strength. About truth. About refusing to shrink. But the final twist. Even her critics, some of them, quietly admitted she had won this round. They didn't say it loudly. They didn't tweet it. They didn't announce it. But they stopped talking. And sometimes silence speaks the loudest truth of all. Crockett ended the event with one last message. A message not just for her supporters. Not just for her critics, but for anyone who has ever been misjudged or misunderstood. She said, never let anyone tell your story for you. When they whisper lies, speak truth. When they twist facts, bring receipts. And when they try to make you small, grow bigger. The audience stood. They clapped. They cheered. Some cried. Some smiled. Some just stood quietly, letting the moment sink in. And that is how the so-called scandal ended. Not with shame. Not with defeat. But with clarity, truth, and strength. Thank you for watching this story till the very end. If this powerful moment touched your heart. If you believe the full truth matters. If you want more stories that reveal what really happens behind the headlines. Please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story.